Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I'ma say this right here, baby, because some of y'all be acting like y'all don't be seeing it. But, baby, playing victim in a situation that you created, oh, yeah, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. Hello, somebody. How you gonna create the storm, then get mad when it rain? How you hurt somebody and then get mad that they hurt? How you damage somebody, go outside your way to destroy a person and then get mad when they no longer want to deal with you? Baby, playing a victim in a situation that you created, oh, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. I'm sorry, but it is.
Successful people aren't successful because everything went their way. They're successful because they figured out a way to navigate through the shit, right? Life is not all easy. You're gonna have shitty things happen to you. And I'm not speaking this over you, I just know from life experience, right? People are gonna get sick, people are gonna die, people are gonna get divorced, people are gonna be financially in ruin. Stressful things are gonna happen. If you don't know how to navigate those things, if you can't figure out how to navigate those things and get to your outcomes anyway, life is gonna be really fucking tough. And it gets bad because then you get into your late 30s and early 40s and we're talking and you become the woulda, shoulda, coulda guy.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you were here with me last night, I told you it'd most likely be about 2 hours late this morning because we were going 2 hours past my bedtime. I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about Layla Santanello last night. Again, not a lot of information coming out for her. Hopefully more people are picking up this case. We're going to have a small little update. Not really an update on her case, but it might be. It might be. So stay tuned. We'll get to that. Good morning, everyone. Big Boy first to say good morning to Bullhorn, Betty, and Clan. Good morning, followed by Southern Grammy Wolf. It's nice to see you. Pebbles, good morning. Jennifer, it's always lovely to have you here. Net L, Mama Shell Bell, it's nice to have you in the house. Ruby, good morning, love bug. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Unicorn was number 3 to thumb up Betty. So if you haven't had an opportunity to thumb me up yet, go out there and give me a thumbs up. We got a lot of work we are going to be covering today, and we're going to take an in-depth dive into Rex Heuermann. Good morning. Good morning. M&M Racing is in the house. Melissa, it's nice to see you here, love bug. 10. Good morning. Robert's girl, God bless you. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't give you kudos yesterday, and thank you personally. I saw that a gift membership came in, so I don't know who the lovely subscriber or the new member is, but thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for being a wonderful supporter of the Bullhorn Betty channel. Mama Llama in the house. Good morning, Lulu's Nana. Nice to have you as well. Good morning, Mary. El Fig is in the house. Miss Betty, let's see. You have coffee time, kiddo. You have. It'll be okay, Betty. What does it say? Oh, disturb the coffee time. Good morning. Good morning, your buddy. Oh, thank you, love bug. Oh, that's so sweet. God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate you all as well. You all as well. Hindsight 2020. Good morning, love bug. ZA is in the house. Good morning. Good morning. And I think I might have missed a couple gift memberships from you, ZA. It's been a whirlwind back here. We're getting it straight. It's one of those things, you know, when it's busy, it's busy. Tashi, good morning. Good morning. You're up. You're up. Linda Lou is in the house. Edit Twins. Good morning. Miss Meadows. Love. Who else do we have? Lainey. Good morning. Sonia. Good morning. Good morning. Tip It Back is up and ready. Tina. Good morning. I think that's about it. If I missed you, I am so very sorry. There's Stacy. Good morning, Stacy. So lots of stuff been going on, you know. I decided to take some time out for Layla Santanello yesterday after hearing her mother's plea for more attention to the case. It seems like it has some significance, you know. Her mom, like she said, her daughter's ultra independent. She didn't really think too much about it at the beginning. Pug Lady, good morning. Good morning. And did I see Cool Gamer? If I missed you, Cool Gamer, I'm sorry. I thought I saw you come in, but I can't tell. It's up too far. Either way, so her mom didn't really think a whole lot, but then as time went on, it was starting to become very clear that it was very uncommon that her daughter just didn't communicate with anybody. It doesn't seem like she had a whole lot of communication on social media for a 21-year-old, which is a little odd, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe I just haven't found the right link to her social media account, but it doesn't seem, in all fairness, that it appears that there's a whole lot of activity, or has been a whole lot of activity in the past. So I'm uncertain about that. Either way, before we get too far into everything, we're going to go back to our language of letting go. I didn't get a chance to read it last night because we were going over some things with Layla, and it was really just giving a push to hopefully get some more attention to her face. So today is August 7th, and it says, stop second guessing yourself. My eyes are getting bad, so bear with me. I'm noticing the book's got to get further and further away, right? Often in life, when an incident arises, we know what we want and need to do. It is clear. We've already got that lesson under our belt. Our hearts and inner guides are clearly speaking to us about what we want or don't want to do. But I should be open to change and new ideas. We think, maybe, what if what I want is wrong? Could it really be what I want is right? Probably not. Maybe I don't know. What am I talking about? Like Winnie in the Pooh says, "Oh brother, oh angst." I think that's what he says, right? It's been a long time since I watched Winnie the Pooh. We're creating this bother and angst ourselves. Be open to new ideas. We're not always right in what we believe. Stay open to examining and changing our beliefs and ideas. But don't spend all your time second and third guessing yourself. Life will whiz by. You won't be able to get anything done, and chances are those second, third, and fourth guesses will lead you back to the place you started from. God, help me stop wasting my time and energy second guessing myself. Help me learn to trust you and to trust myself. What a great message. And I think people forget, as we learn, there are some people that were raised wrong, but I think, society and learning the norms as you get older, even with a dysfunctional life, maybe as a child, I think we learn, good behavior. And I think we forget to trust our inner person, the one that guides us, that tells us, that gives us that weird feeling in the pit of our stomach when we're not sure if we're doing something right, and we kind of feel we're doing something not right? That little weird feeling, or that elation when we're doing something right, or we did something, we achieved what we set out to achieve. So the kudos, the happy stuff, but we have to start trusting ourselves. And I think a lot of people out there in the world are so concerned about what other people think or say. They're being misguided. And sometimes taking that back and, making decisions for yourself and trusting yourself to do the right thing, sometimes you'll be amazed what right decisions you'll make. Maybe life will become easier when you stop fighting the grain. Who knows, right? But what a great message. What a great message. So before we really get started on our day, I wanted you guys to see this. This is like crazy to me. This is in Alaska, and we need to say prayers for Alaska. Give me just a second as it loads. You guys are not going to believe this. Seriously, not going to believe this. There's a glacier has flooded an area. Give me a second. We're kind of lagging here. I'm not sure why. I don't see anything on my end saying lagging, but it is.
Those incredible images from Alaska.
I don't know what's going on here.
At least 2 homes crashing into floodwaters sparked by rapidly melting glaciers. Several other homes are now at serious risk. Here's ABC's Zoreen Shaw.
Oh, there goes.
Oh,
tonight, the dramatic moment a
devastating.
massive house collapses into this river in
Devastating.
Alaska.
We're just watching the banks just slowly erode, and all of a sudden the whole roof and everything just came down.
Watch as the raging rapids of the Mendenhall River erode the banks in Juneau, triggering the destruction.
I just thought, my word, I saw this, and, people had already been evacuated. It is my understanding nobody was injured or hurt inside that home or anything like that. But, I mean, even if you weren't there watching it, say that the homeowner's watching that on the news, can you just imagine just watching your whole entire life? Because think about it. Our homes are our life. Like, we keep all of our most important memories and keepsakes in the safest place that we have, which is our home. And you have something like a natural disaster, and you're sitting there totally helpless and hopeless as you watch your entire life wash away. It is the most uneasy. Watching that gave me chills, just thinking the homeowner, how devastating. Obviously, the silver lining is, it can be replaced. some of those keepsakes just can't, but you still have memories, but they can be replaced. They're inanimate objects. We are human beings, and we need to be thankful that we're here. And, at the end of the day, thank God it was just the house. It could have been worse, but it was the house. It is your everything. I mean, this house, my home, it doesn't matter which home I'm in, it's still my home. It's still my possession. It's still everything I have. It's still the biggest asset that I'll ever own, right? So it's just devastating. And hopefully they have, insurance. It looked like a nice community. It's just very, very sad. And wow, I saw that in that immediate heart drop. It was just, I don't know what else to say than that. So getting on to Layla, if you guys weren't here yesterday, go back and watch my evening broadcast that I did about Layla Santanello. She is a 20-year-old. She went missing at 20 years old. I want to make sure because her birthday just happened. So she's actually 21 years old now. She missed her 21st birthday. And her mother is absolutely distraught and sickened, doesn't know what happened to her daughter. There wasn't a whole lot of substance in any news article related to Layla Santanello at all. And it was hard to find information about her case that could be beneficial or prove to be beneficial. Even the date that she went missing, one government report says the 26th, but the news articles say the 27th. So I'm unclear whether it's the 26th or the 27th that she actually disappeared. And if it's unclear, that could pose a very big problem as well. However, there's just, it rose to the level of concern hearing her mother's heartbreak, her plea on her Facebook page, and then finding out that just recently the case has been elevated, that now TBI is involved, that now this endangered person alert has gone out on her. So it sounds like it's serious. And so as a last ditch effort, trying to make a push to see if we can locate this young lady. Her name's Layla Santanello. Let me go ahead and pull her images up real quick so you guys, for those that have not had an opportunity to know who she is, you guys can see her. And so this is basically her. This is all of the photos that are circulating related to her. And there are different photos of different stages of, her facial feature, her teeth, how she looks when she has no makeup on, how she looks when she has makeup on, how she looks with darker hair, how she looks with lighter hair. So there are stuff out there for you guys to see. So I just want you to pay attention to her because she is missing. And it sounds like this is, a grave issue. When you go for a little, she disappeared at the end of June. We're at the beginning of August, and this is elevating to the point where TBI needs to be involved and an endangered missing person alert has been issued. So this really is a last-ditch effort to try to find and push to find her. And I don't want to say last-ditch effort. We're going to continue to advocate for her and stuff like that, but really push her photo out there to try to get her to contact her family to make sure she's okay. This is a serious matter that is, it could be grave. I mean, I'm concerned. And when you hear the mother that says, my daughter's independent, she basically, what I'm hearing when she says that is that, it's not uncommon for her daughter to go days without seeing her or speaking to her. So it seems like that's not uncommon. So her mom would not be concerned, but it is uncommon for the length of amount of time. I mean, 20 years old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old has pretty much standard behavior. However, this was her big birthday, the 21st birthday, that may have play a part in it. There's a lot of things that are unknown here. So we don't want to create a panic she could be okay. But we also realize that it's been well over a month, and this is a major concern, so much so that TBI is now involved and there's an endangered missing person. So we have to advocate for it. Anybody with any information, please reach out to Kingsport Police Department or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. So this is kind of interesting. Now that we know that TBI is involved in this case, you'll find out why I think this is so interesting. Because Kingsport police officers and TBI agents were at the scene of a home in Kingsport, which I thought was pretty interesting. And this happened a few days ago, but I don't know if this has any relevance to Kayla's
Good
case.
evening, and thanks for joining us for News.
And I thought this was interesting. It was on Dale Street. There's not a whole lot of information other than cops are there.
I'm Rebecca.
So I thought maybe
We've
this
been
might
following
be
a
something
large police
related to
presence
Layla.
today in Kingsport. The TBI also involved in an investigation. The scene has now been cleared, but News 5's Ashley Hoke is at the Kingsport Justice Center with what she's learned. Ashley.
Yeah, Rebecca, as you mentioned, I've been here in Kingsport since 9 a.m. this morning following that investigation. As you just mentioned, that scene was cleared just around 4:30 this afternoon. TBI was also assisting in that investigation, and many of those TBI agents left an hour prior at 3:30 this afternoon. What we've learned so far is that this is still a very active and ongoing investigation. We have reached out to the Kingsport Police Department numerous times today, and that is all they have said, was just that it is an active and ongoing investigation. Now, as you mentioned, this home was located on Dale Street in the 500 block. And when I was on scene today, I was able to see several agents coming and going for several hours throughout the day. They were taking pictures both inside and outside of the home. They were bringing some items outside and into their command vehicle for what I can believe is processing. They did have those items in bags that they were then taking into their vehicle. And like I said, they were searching the backyard for something. They were taking some pictures, looking at pretty much every nook and cranny of that home on Dale Street. And like I said, this is an ongoing investigation. The details that we have right now are very limited, but as soon as we do learn more from the Kingsport Police Department, we will keep you updated. But for now, reporting live in Kingsport, Ashley Hoke, News 5, WCYB.
Now you understand why I brought that up, because it is of concern. Because what did you just learn from that? We learned absolutely nothing from that. Do we know what investigation that they are covering outside of it's an ongoing investigation? We know nothing. This is why I think everybody is starting to freak out, even though it wasn't attached to Layla, even though it wasn't attached to her case. It very well could be. Her name's nowhere on this. If it wasn't for somebody sending it to me, I would have no information about this, somebody having their house searched. But I find it awfully funny that we're not seeing any major, there might be, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing another major case where Kingsport Police Department is involved with TBI in a search other than Layla right at the moment. Does that mean that this is the only case that they're collaborating on in Kingsport? No. But what I am saying is that this is the only one that's being known to me that rises to the level of having TBI involved right now, because this case started heating up on August 1st, and they're looking in this home and executing a search warrant for unknown reasons on an unknown investigation that's active and ongoing. On the 4th, only 3 days later, that this case is elevated. So this is not making me feel who lived in the house. I've been trying to find out, Mary. I have no idea, because I don't even have the full address. I have Dale Street. I tried to see if it was potential that it could be, a house that her boyfriend may have lived in, or maybe another associate to her. But I could not link that because I don't have the social media account where I can find out who her friends are and find out who lives in that home, or if that home is connected to her some way. I'm kind of flying blind here. Usually I have access to those things and I can give you guys more of an idea. And that's why I can be more direct in my opinions and in my presentation of stuff. But I am flying blind here. I have no activity for her right now on social media, which means short of having her family members telling me who her friends are or who lives in that house, I have no earthly idea if that's even connected with Layla Santanello. But because of the proximity, because of the departments that are involved in that investigation, it made me feel like just that gut. We're talking about that voice that speaks to us. It just, in my gut, it makes me feel like this is connected for some reason. But again, just an abundance of caution when it comes to Layla. Please do your own research, because there's lacking a lot of information. So some of this stuff, I don't know. It's just speculative. It's not fact. This may have been just some sort of unknown drug ring. We don't know. And that might be the reason why Kingsport and TBI were involved. But this just seemed a little more, this seemed a little too close to when the case ended up being elevated from a missing person where she probably just ran off with somebody to this is serious. She's been missing for over a month. As of August 1st, they're elevating, they're getting TBI involved, and an endangered person alert is being created and disseminated. And then boom, just on the 4th, we have a house that's being searched and in a tight-lipped situation. When I hear tight-lipped situation, even law enforcement, if it was a drug cartel or if it was a drug bust or something along those lines, they wouldn't be so tight-lipped about it. The only time I ever see law enforcement get really tight-lipped and hold things to their chest is when they're dealing with very complex criminal schemes, such as white-collar schemes or, mafia, organized type crime scenes and murders. So, again, I don't want to start throwing big words like the M word around too much, because we don't know anything. And I don't want, right now, she is a missing person that could be in trouble, in danger, involved with somebody else. She could have been HT'd, ST'd. She was in a lower end hotel. She may or potentially have had dependency issues, alcohol or narcotics. We don't know. We have, again, flying blind here. I can usually gauge these things, even the substance abuse, by social media, how they're acting, what they look like, what their photos are, where their photos are taking. Are they at the party scene a lot? Those are all the things that I derive information from, is that social media presence, and I'm just not finding it. So a lot of these answers that I would normally have, or at least inferences based upon relevant stuff that I've seen, I don't have that in this case. There's literally nothing. She's not getting enough awareness. So if you guys could take a picture, again, Layla Santanello, very concerned about this young lady. It's not sitting easy with me to this morning when I received this this article, and I'm just scratching my head and thinking, this is just so close. It feels like it's got to be connected, but it might not. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware of that. Lastly, with our missing persons, and then we're going to kind of dive into the meat and potatoes of why we're here, Bryan Kohberger and Rex Heuermann. Oh, and of course, the update on Naomi Irion and Troy Driver, right? I don't know if you guys remember, but we did discuss this case way back when it first broke, and we were all shocked. And we're going to go over that here in just a second, so stay tuned. But first, I want to take a few moments to give another young missing lady a face and some attention here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, and also asking my audience to be seeking information and disseminating information about this child. I don't want to call her a child, but she is, because this is the interesting thing. She's disappeared, but it doesn't look good. She disappeared years ago. Okay, years ago. And she still has never been found. Well, just recently, 2 people have been arrested in the connection with her disappearance. just listen here and then we'll discuss a little bit more. But I want her face out there because, again, if possible, if she is alive, we want to do a last ditch effort on her as well. This is the story of Morgan Bauer. Again, she disappeared in 2016. And so I wanted just to give you guys just a little update on her. Share. There we go. And just another just young, beautiful soul, you know, it's so sad. It's so sad. 2 people arrested in connection in the 2016 of a Georgia teen, Morgan Bauer. 2 people have been arrested in the connection with the missing teen who vanished 7 years ago. On Saturday, authorities announced Jonathan Alexander Warren was taken into custody in Los Angeles on charges of murder, aggravated assault, concealing a death, all felonies. He's also facing a misdemeanor charge of tampering with evidence. Meanwhile, Caitlin Goebel was arrested in Peoria, Illinois, on felony charges of concealing death and tampering with evidence. The charges come as part of an investigation in the disappearance of 19-year-old Morgan Bauer, who was last seen February 25th, 2016, leaving an adult entertainment center in Gainesville, Georgia. Again, they are charged with murder. Her body has not yet been discovered. So we are doing a push for any information. And you're asked to call the Gainesville Police Department in Georgia, not Florida, Georgia, with any information if you know her, have seen her. And you know, it is potential for, again, ST in those type of establishments. It's, you know, there are some things that do go on that we don't like to believe. They have to have some pretty strong evidence for them to make the arrest in this day and age. I do believe law enforcement. I do. When it comes to identifying suspects, I think that they are more cognizant that they need to be sure that the person that they're arresting has committed the crime. And I think law enforcement has done a great job at doing that over the last couple decades at minimum. You know, since the DNA has come out, it has been a game changer where we feel a little more confident when we send people to prison for these crimes, for whatever the sentence may be. Again, just in an abundance of caution, I'm throwing her name out here. We know that there are 2 people arrested in connection with her disappearance. They have been charged with murder. They have been charged with tampering with evidence. But again, she disappeared from adult entertainment center, which we know is a poaching grounds for the ST trade. We know that there could be a number of things that may change why she is believed to be deceased, but we don't know those just yet. We can only say that people have been charged in connection with her disappearance, and law enforcement obviously believes that she's murdered based upon the charges that were levied upon the 2 individuals. So again, this is just a push. Here she is. If you know anything, please contact law enforcement. Now moving on to Naomi Driver. I don't know if you guys remember this case, but we did cover it. Look how long my hair was. I cut all my hair off. And I'm actually considering changing my hair color. I was going to do it last time, but everybody raised money for me to have pink hair. So that's what I did. I got pink hair. And now I'm trying to decide whether I want to go back to maybe like a dark blonde or a medium, not a medium brown, but a light brown. I'm not sure yet, but I'm not really scared. I can't think of her name. Naomi. We're going to start with her first. Oops, wrong screen. It's just to get you guys an update of Naomi, where we were back then. So many of you guys know. If you don't know, this is what it is right now. This gentleman here, Troy Driver, was arrested and charged in her disappearance and her subsequent murder. He was supposed to be going to court And for whatever reason, this pretrial conference was not going forward. So let's just hear what is going on. Why does it keep going over here?
Court hearing.
Not what I was expecting. I'm not sure why it keeps popping up on this screen, on this other screen or not, but let me see if I can move this over here. I think that was back when I was trying to run two computers.
Court hearing for the man suspected of kidnapping and killing Naomi Irion has been delayed until next month. The pretrial hearing for Troy Driver was scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, but it's been moved to May 10th. Just last week, murder charges were added on top of robbery, burglary, destroying evidence, and kidnapping charges he's already facing. Police say they know the exact cause of Irion's death, but they're not releasing that information right now due to the ongoing investigation.
Oh, thank you, sweetie pie. So that is the update on Naomi's case. She is, again, she was found. And of course, they want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row before they charge them. Due to the way the law works, I'm pretty sure that they have to take this to trial within 180 days from the charge. Yep. And we learned that. We know that. That's instilled in our head. And, it's just, that's funny. Look, what a difference. Not much, but a little, hello. Hi. I'm you in the future. You're me in the past. I'm you in the future. You're me in the past. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm having too much fun. So, I got to say, and I know I'm going to get in probably hot water, right? But this woman was in a shopping center. Troy Driver literally attacked her and kidnapped her in a parking lot. People are calling law enforcement. And she was a bigger, a larger lady. She was very tall. She was beautiful. She was very beautiful. But she was a very tall lady. It was surprising that he chose her as opposed to somebody that was like more petite, somebody that wouldn't perceive to give a fight up. Like, it was weird. And this is where and it was ever since her that I've always said, and I've always told my entire audience, look, if they have a gun or a knife and they're wanting to take you to a second location, make them kill you there. You're going to die at that second location. 99% of the time, you will die. You have a better chance of making a scene for people to see you in public and you getting aid rendered to you immediately as opposed to going to a second location. If I was kidnapped or I was being forced, they would be dragging a dead body because I'm not going to a second location. If you're going to kill me, you're killing me right here. I'm not moving. I'm not going to a second location. I don't care if you stab me, shoot me, whatever, but you are going to be dragging a dead body. And it was her case that just solidified that. I will never, ever, ever comply. I will never go to that second location because she would have had, if he would have heard her there, she would have had a better chance of survival there with people around in that parking lot than she would at this second location in a desolate area. And so I know people, when I say stuff like that, it's kind of shocking, right? But I want shocking because you'll remember it. You'll remember it if something happens to you. Your mind, you have shock. Your mind goes blank. You don't know what to do. Sometimes those shock things that were given to you are like, oh my God, they will pop in your brain at the right time. So I may be shocking when I say that they'll be dragging a dead body, but I'm trying to make a point. Don't let them take you to a second location. You're dead anyways. So you have a better chance of survival in a public setting. If somebody sees a commotion, they will look. If nothing more, they're going to point the camera in your direction. So make the scene in the public place. Don't go to the desolate place. You will not come back. You will not come back. But the good news is, and this is where I'm going to get in hot water because I'm saying it's good news. This man decided to save people a lot of taxpayer money. He decided to save a lot of people taxpayer money, and decided to off himself before trial. Now, I have a big problem because why is this man in a facility, in one of our jails, being able to have whatever it took to be able to carry out this unalive act? That upsets me. We should not, we know that people that are facing these type of charges may do these types of acts against themselves in order to not have to deal with their crime. We know this. This is not something new. That he's not the first one that has attempted. So why, with all these why does he have anything in his cell that he could unalive himself with? And how did he get it? And why was he not monitored better? Those are the questions that I have related to Troy Driver. Do I want to see this man dead? No. I want to see this man brought to justice. Do I believe this is justice? No, because it was on his terms. And that's the problem I have. But do I have a problem with him being gone? No. Actually, I don't. I have no problem with him being unalive. As a matter of fact, I think that this is a good thing, in my opinion. He saved taxpayers a lot of money. He's not going to subject this family going through any torment related to having to see graphic photos of what he did to Naomi. You want me to cry over this man? It will never happen. It will never happen. I wanted him brought to justice, but he's dead. I'm fine. How do you like that? Because at the end of the day, that's exactly where I want him to be anyways. When he had that gavel slammed down, I was hoping that his sentence would be DP. He saved us all that problem. Now we don't have to house him for years. We don't have to subject Naomi's family to a lengthy and a very public trial of some of the most intimate details of their daughter and their family's lives. That was probably the best thing and the best decision, in my opinion, Troy Driver did probably in his life. Good riddance, dude. Good riddance. You're not going to get a tear from me. Enjoy hell. Enjoy hell. So, getting on with some things. Have you subscribed and liked this video? Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Don't forget, conceal carry. Yeah, and you know what kind of sucks? Is that here in Florida, and many of you know I have a concealed weapons permit, signed up for it, got it through, first shot, no problems. I didn't even have to do a letter or anything. Everybody's talking about me and all these other things. I didn't have to go through it. I filled out an application. I sent all my stuff in. They sent me my concealed weapons permit back in the mail, and I had that. And then, like a year and a half after I finally did getting the concealed weapons permit, now we're a carry, not an open carry state, but we're a concealed carry state now. But you can carry as long as you meet all the criteria to get a concealed weapons permit. You're not a felon. You don't have domestic batteries. You don't have all these different things. You're not a violent person. You don't have an active protective order on you. As long as you have all of those things met, you can carry without a permit anymore. I'm keeping my permit up to date. If they still allow it. I don't even know if they've disabled the carry, but I've actually got the card. And if I can, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that card up. I'm not going to let that card go, because if for any reason down the line they choose to change the law, I don't have to go through the process of doing this all over again. So, but I don't know if I can even do that. They may have dismantled that whole department for all I know. I have no earthly idea. So doing some stuff on Bryan Kohberger. Oops, we're still on that ugly man's face. Good riddance, dude. Good riddance. And I know I'm probably going to get heat for it. You know, she's a victim. He's not a victim. You know, he created a victim. He created a whole line of victims. You know, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be sad. Like I want to throw a party. I seriously want to throw a party, but it's, and you know what I'm saying? I realize that it's probably inappropriate to say, but I'm happy. I really am. I'm happy for her family more than anything. Do you understand what families are subjected to in trials? I don't think people understand what families are subjected to going to trial. Well, I mean, you kind of think, oh, well, it can't be, it can't be good, right? It can't be good. But you have no clue how awful it is. And the fact that the families are in court listening to this horrible stuff, and they're not allowed to really, they probably have tears rolling down their face, but they're not allowed to make noises, or you hear them sometimes, and when you hear them, they have to be removed from that courtroom because that could alter the jury's, so they can't have those outbursts in court, even from the families. So the families, if they want to sit there, they have to sit there wanting to scream and cry and just moan, and they have to keep their mouth shut. People, it's horrible. It's horrible. So no, I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I'm not crying. I hope her family will sleep a little bit better knowing they never have to see him ever, ever, ever again. Ever again. So I thought this was interesting. I follow a lot of different people on Twitter, ones that are actively and engaged in conversation and open dialogue and healthy debate on matters. And I found this pretty interesting. And this was a very good detail that I thought was interesting that she had noticed in the examples in the document for her alibi. And she referenced several different types of case law. And one of those case law, this is what it stated. And it was it's after reading it, I have to be honest with you. I see what sparked her attention. So it says, in addition to weighing the competing interests at stake, the trial court should consider whether less severe remedies would be sufficient for the untimely disclosure or non-disclosure, such as a short continuance, a mistrial, or sanctions against defense counsel before excluding defense witness. That is an odd case law to add. I have to agree to add to the alibi. And here's the second one. It says, however, when the defendant's discovery violation was willful and designated to facilitate the presentation of fabricated testimony or to impede the state's ability to conduct effective cross-examination or present rebuttal evidence, exclusion may be proper remedy to withstand availability of other sanctions that would prevent prejudice to the state. So I have to say, and we read that language here. It's in the the objection. We talked about it. I even highlighted and said it sounds to me like she's trying to have witnesses excluded. She would rather have witnesses excluded than she would giving up his alibi at this juncture, because again, they're trying to save this man's life and trying to prove he's not guilty. And they obviously received some pretty damaging evidence that put Bryan Kohberger in his car driving around that night, so much so that his defense team finally had to concede on that fact. And there was a lot of, pro Bryan Kohberger channels out there banking and betting that he was not in that car as part of their standing as to why they thought Bryan Kohberger was innocent. And now they've had to concede that Bryan Kohberger was in the car. But here's the kicker. They've never said he was in the car alone, outside of the fact that they said there's no corroborating witnesses at this time. So it's still, I don't know. I just feel it's odd for me that they're lacking, at the beginning we heard, now this is rumored. I want to make sure that I have not seen a formal officer state this with specificity. We heard early on, it was rumored that when Bryan Kohberger was arrested, he asked law enforcement, was anyone else arrested? We heard that. That went across it, that made its way through social media. But when I tried to corroborate that statement that he made to law enforcement, I was not able to. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. That came from somewhere. And I believe it was if I'm going back in time, I believe it was actually stated possibly in an actual news article in Pennsylvania for some reason, but I can't remember if that's where I saw the statement or if I saw the statement originally in a Facebook group. I can't remember. My memory is unclear. Forgive me for that. I'll have to go back and try to recreate how that came up, because I don't even know if I saved where I saw that information for it the first time, because I didn't. I know we discussed it on here, but I'm not sure if I believed it. If I did believe it, I've saved it somewhere. I just got to remember where I saved it. It's been, many, many months, 9 months almost, hasn't it? I mean, it happened in November. Our first touchdown was in November. So we got December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. We're in August. So we're in the 9th month as we're speaking. So it's been a significant amount of time, but I have to be honest with you, because it even says recognizing court has authority to exclude witnesses. And I even highlighted that because I keep thinking, is this the way she's going to say, if she needs to go to an appeals court, I had to weigh, giving up a witness or preserving my client's rights and not presenting an alibi. And, I don't think the issue here is I don't think Bryan Kohberger has an alibi. I just don't. I don't think anybody was in the car with him. I don't think there was a second person, but I feel like it's leading up to this. Like I'm starting to feel like the direction of the defense is, especially with the conceding of him being placed in the car and driving around at night during the time of murder, is basically what they're conceding. After that, now I know that when they place him in the car and moving around, they're going to have a hard issue here. So how are they going to wiggle out of this? I don't see any other way of them wiggling out of this without presenting somebody else. Is this going to be by way of a second person, or is this going to be by way of an anonymous person? But I do believe that they're going to have to present a person. So now is coming to the time where we need to look at this potential of this second person or this anonymous person, because the defense, exactly, Cynthia, the defense has nothing. Give me, guys, just a second. Oh, here, I got one for you too. Sorry about that. My neighbor brought me over the plate. So now that I've been home, my neighbor and I, because he's an older gentleman, he's retired, elderly, I don't know if he's early or late 70s, but he's in his 70s either way. And so we just kind of been doing this thing where we, cook dinner, like he'll cook dinner 1 or 2 nights, and then I'll cook dinner 1 or 2 nights. And it's good. I got to be honest with you. I like my cooking much better. I think he does too. I think that's why he went. So anyways, he's like, you told me you could eat. So he came over. It was really sweet. He's like, you know, you told me that you could really cook chicken, and you could cook chicken in like 1,000 different. I was like, yeah, I could pretty much cook chicken. I've got, you know, a lot of, I said, I love chicken. So I'm Bubba Gump of chicken. I mean, you know, there's sauteed chicken, there's chicken scampi, there's fried chicken, there's spicy chicken, there's chicken Florentine, there's chicken. You know, I'm chicken, okay? So he brings over the tenderloins, which you guys saw on yesterday. And so I'm like, what am I going to do with these? And I said, well, you know what? Maybe I'll fry them up. He always, because like even my wings, I do like a mild to medium wing. I'm not one that likes to have my mouth on fire to eat a wing. I'm not, you know, I don't mind a spice. I don't mind having heat on my tongue. I just don't want it being so overwhelming that it's burning, not flavorful. I like, if it's going to be spicy, I like a flavorful spice. Something that just doesn't, you know, overpower with heat. Well, he's one that likes overpowering heat. And so I'm trying to balance, right? Because I'm not going to make my stuff DEFCON, you know, 5 spicy where my whole entire face turns red, right? Like a fire engine. So I did put a little more heat in it, but I made it almost the spiciness of like a Popeye spicy chicken, you know, where it does give you a little heat on your tongue, but not where it's overpowering, and it's very flavorful. So that's kind of what I did. So I soaked it in buttermilk, some seasonings, and hot sauce just to season the actual meat. I set that in overnight. And then, of course, I got the and I breaded them. I didn't dip them in egg and then, you know, make a big, huge, you know, thick crust around it, because I'm really, I mean, it's already being fried anyways. Why do you really need the carbs on top of it? So I really just dust it just so it has a nice crisp on it. And OMG, chicken and dumplings, girl, I can make a chicken and dumpling that I'm telling you, I get 2 different types of dumplings in my chicken and dumplings. My chicken and dumplings, I tell you what, people that are like chefs have said this is really good, but I change it just a little bit. This is what I do, and it's totally not normal, because it already has the dumplings in it. And I use 2 different types, and I'll tell you in just a second. But I put potato in mine. I put a potato in mine. So you have a chicken and dumpling with potato. It's really, really good. But that's the only difference in my chicken and dumplings, is I actually put a couple of russet potatoes in there. And the two, and I never put, a lot of people make their chicken and dumplings and dump like a can of cream of chicken in there to thicken it up. I never put cream of chicken in there. What I do, and I roll out my dough for one of them, but the other dumpling, I do not. I use Bisquick. I use a Bisquick dumpling, and this is why. It'll make littler dumplings, but when it breaks down, it thickens your sauce. So you don't need that can of cream of mushroom soup that alters the taste. So when I make my chicken and dumplings, they have hand-rolled dumplings from scratch in there. The only reason why I put the Bisquick dumpling in is the breaking up of it and the thickening up of the chicken stock. And it comes out to be a nice, thick, creamy chicken and dumplings with hand-rolled dumplings, and it's absolutely to die for. If there is one thing that I do well in this entire world that I could just bottle up and make my $1 million, it would be my chicken and dumplings. Like if I could if I had a big, you know, I would. I guarantee that chicken, and I make it all from scratch. You get a whole roaster chicken, I throw it right into a pot and cook it down. I literally wash it and throw it in there with onions, celery, and carrots. But you've never had chicken and dumplings until you have Bullhorn Betty's chicken and dumplings. I promise you. Once you have chicken and dumplings, you will never go to Cracker Barrel for chicken and dumpling again. You will be so spoiled that you will realize the difference between fresh, homemade chicken and dumplings and, you know, packaged chicken and dumplings. All right, enough of that. I am a foodie. But in all fairness, I got chefs in my family too. Chefs that traveled the world, chefs that literally have served princes in the upper echelon. I can't even say that. Echelon. Today my tongue is tied. But the higher tier society, and we're not talking about the higher tier society. I'm talking about the 0.5% of the world. My cousin has served, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. We have some big players in family Bullhorn Betty. We have some big players in family Bullhorn Betty. So I just thought that was interesting. What are your thoughts about why, they're starting to bring up, think about it. The first one is bringing up, listen to this. I want you guys to hear this. In addition to weighing the competing interests at stake, the trial court should consider whether less severe remedies would be sufficient for untimely disclosure or non-disclosure. So it's almost like she knows she has not provided that alibi. She knows that she could be held in contempt for failing to hold, having the alibi. The state has a motion to compel. So she's facing potential forcing of the courts to turn that over. And so she's saying, well, I know, you can sanction me and you can sanction my client, but, you can also just exclude witnesses that the state can't interview. And I think that's the push. That's kind of the middle of the road. She's trying to say, you do have this discretion, judge, you can force me to put up this alibi, which will be a detriment to my client, or you can, basically penalize us, right, by way of not allowing us certain testimony or certain evidence to be admitted, or certain witnesses' testimony to be admitted. So it's kind of, they're giving, what time is dinner? I'm not making chicken and dumplings tonight. I'm not hand rolling nothing. Actually, when my neighbor dropped me off the plate, he let me know it's going to be pork chops tonight. So we'll see. We'll see if my mouth's on. I'm a foodie, right? But I just know I cook better. I'm happy that somebody is taking a meal off the plate, right? Some nights when I look around, I'll have a yogurt. I won't even eat. I'll look around and I'm like, I don't feel like cooking. I don't feel like dirtying up the kitchen. Like my kitchen this morning, I'm still putting stuff up because I'm a slob, right? I still had my bowl, my flour bowl out. I had some dishes in the sink. Usually that's all in the dishwasher. And I had to wipe down the cabinet, or not the cabinets, the countertops, because I still had a freaking flour. I just made this stuff. I took the whole plate over to my neighbor and I was done. I just I'll clean it later. And I woke up this morning. I guess I was back here working all night, and then I went live and I forgot all about it. So I ended up getting out of here, taking the shower and getting ready for bed. And that's what I did. I went to bed. Can't stand a messy kitchen in the morning. It just sets the tone for the day. I don't know what it is. It just sets the tone for the day. So I'm trying to decide if you guys want to throw some comments. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. There is a Q&A. You guys see that at the top? You guys can ask me questions. If you guys want to type some questions in, you might have already. I just have not seen them yet. Let's see. Do you? Morning. Let me just refresh here. Give me a second. There we are. So do we have any questions? So it says, do you think Bryan, the question is, do you think Bryan Kohberger has an alibi? And it's not really, do you think he has an alibi? Because that's a yes or no question. It really is, do you think he has an alibi? If so, why? If not, why? So, or if you have additional questions, type the questions in there. I'll talk about food and I can't even turn the water on. Or getting a whole, oh no, that sucks. I hate plumbing issues. And it's not like a plumbing issue. You're getting new plumbing, right? But it's still plumbing issues because you can't use your plumbing. Okay, what does it says? I've asked my question. What time is dinner? Mama Llama, you're funny. I don't know what time dinner is. It's whenever Glenn decides to bring me over my plate of hot food. But he eats early. He stays up early and he gets up. He's like one of these people that are, he's like you know exactly what he does every single. He's very predictable because he's older and he just does the same thing. He's retired, right? So he enjoys sitting on his recliner and watching TV all day. He's the neighborhood watch. He's all up in everybody's business. But when you're not home very much, and like this year I've been home more so than I haven't. Last year I wasn't hardly home. I was always out in the field. But this year we had to slow down a little bit. I was hoping to do some growth this year, but I've decided I'm putting that off next year because we're just going to get through whatever we got to get through and get this nonsense done, on here. So I'm really excited to kind of get back out there. We are looking for new cases to go, and I am flying out to Idaho before the end of the month to kind of just kind of look at some things. And also, again, there was, as I'm watching this case kind of unfold, I'm not going to go over how does 5 sound. Mama Llama, you're more than welcome to come over here for dinner, honey bunny. I'll make you a good dinner. But if you want chicken and dumplings, you probably want to wait until tomorrow. I gotta get a chicken. Actually, it does sound good. I might actually just consider going ahead and making, you guys, I haven't made chicken and dumplings in a while. That does sound good. That does sound really good. Those pork chops aren't sounding as good anymore. The only part is I don't have to cook. 5 p.m. is too early to eat. Are you kidding me? I eat like at 4. But I'm also in bed. You got to understand, I'm also in bed by 8:30. I get up at, like last night, this year lately has been a fluke because my schedule's off because I've been having to add additional work and working and researching and all this other stuff. It's just been a lot of work. I got to say, it's been a lot of work, but it's been good. It's keeping me focused and keeping me driven. So, I was up late and I've been up late and it's been throwing my my sleep off, which is meaning I'm starting late. And sometimes in the morning I get started on whatever I left over from the night before. And then I don't get started on my morning. I'm telling you, you guys have no idea how my last week has been. It has been literally cray. But busy hands are happy hands, right? Busy hands are happy hands. So it's good. We're going to go ahead and start moving over to Rex Heuermann, and then I'm just going to kind of end the live. This is what I'm going to do. I know that we have some creators, Mama Bullhorn hasn't been up here in a while or spoken a while. We haven't, spoke to Turkey Man in a while. We haven't spoke to Ruby in a while. So I think tomorrow what we're going to do is open a panel. So if the people would like to come up on panel or call in, whichever the person prefers, if they'd prefer calling in, we'll open both. We'll open up the panel and open up the phones. And we'll just have some, conversation about, the cases, our focus on the cases. I mean, short of a major case popping up from now till tomorrow, we'll be focused on Bryan Kohberger and Rex Heuermann. And so if you guys want to do some research or come up with some questions so that we can research on here, that would be good for tomorrow. I think that would be, it'll get us, I haven't really been able to kind of connect with you guys in at least a week, and, a good, meaningful connection, not just kind of, we're talking about these cases. I love you guys as much as you love me, but we haven't really had a meaningful connection. So I think that we'll open up the panel tomorrow and let everybody kind of just talk about those 2 cases. Those are the only 2 cases that we will be discussing at length tomorrow. But I like this whole entire, let's see what we got going on here. Hold on, let me see here. Sorry, guys, I missed some things. Can I bring eggs? Oh, I love some eggs, man. Eggs are getting, actually eggs they're starting to come down, thank God. I remember when I went into the store and saw a freaking 12-pack of eggs for $5, I about fell over. I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. Excuse my language. But that's exactly what I said. I'm not lying. That's exactly what I said. I opened that thing up, looked at that prices, and I shut that door. I'm like, I don't need eggs this week. Right? This was a few months ago, but you know, as soon as the price dropped, I stocked up on eggs. As soon as that price dropped, so I still have eggs. All this food and I can't eat. Yeah, I just remember seeing that. Okay, let's see here. Kind of off topic, what do y'all think about saying she's a freaking idiot? That's what I say about it. Ashley, she's a freaking idiot. That man has no alibi. I can't even, out of all the work I've done out there, I've got him dead to rights at work that morning until about 2:30. And after that, I can't tell you where that man was. I can't tell you where that man was. But I know he left for lunch, and nobody can tell me, not his coworkers, nobody can tell me when he came back that day. They knew he was there. They could tell me when he left. They could not tell me when he came back, if he came back at all, as a matter of fact. So, you know, he says he went back. That's what we have. We have him coming in from Johnson City, supposedly, or Washington County, coming back in, you know, driving like a bat out of hell, and how he was driving so fast he was able to get a 45-minute drive down to 20 minutes, and that is literally impossible to do. You know, around those around the mountains and stuff, it's impossible. Like, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But no, she's an idiot. She's one of those people that cozy up to criminals to try to get them to open up to her so she can have that inside scoop. She, you know, if you're wanting, that would be what I perceive as a tragedy pimp. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be somebody or make myself be somebody for nothing. I come to people authentically. Even Don Wells, I told him if he sat down with me that I would give him a fair shake. He refuses to sit down with me. He'll talk to me on the phone all day long. He'll text with me all day long, but he refuses to sit belly to belly with me and let me ask my questions to him. Why? Because I have thoroughly investigated this case. Thoroughly. I've talked to so many people, it's not even funny. And I have some very direct questions that I've had sitting on my heart and my mind for over a year and a half, waiting for this man to sit down with me to answer real questions. Because these softball questions and this la-di-da stuff, you know, if Don Wells didn't do it, he would be sitting down with me. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I feel about it. He's apologized for not meeting. He knew that not meeting me was a poor decision. And, you know, he has his choices. He made his choice. But don't sit here and expect me to believe that you're innocent of a crime when you refuse to sit down with, he sat down with nobody. He's not sat down with a JLR. He's not sat down with Olivia. He's not sat down with me. He's not sat down with anybody that was out there that actually went out there and looked into this case and actually had meaningful conversations with their neighbors, with people on the other side of the mountains that went back in those hollers, that know those hollers like the back of their hands. There are very limited people that know that. And even the people that went out there searching never even gave a damn about interviewing anybody or finding out who Don and Candace were, because they were too busy trying to get them on their show. I didn't need to. We were out there for a fact-finding mission when it came to Summer Wells. We were out there on a fact-finding mission. We got our facts. We know, you know, outside of what happened to her, we know where she was, who the players were. We know that Candace has knowledge. Don has knowledge. We know Grandis has knowledge. You're not going to change that. And I told him, I said, I'll come to you with an open mind. I was just talking to him when he was coming back, doing his Browns again. And I told him, you need to get off those roach channels. and start coming to legit channels with people with, better reputations. Because if you're going to stay in the gutter, that's what people are going to look at you as. And it's the truth. And I also told him, I spoke to him several times. It was communications. I never talked to people about it. I didn't throw up here. I didn't put him on blast on here, and he knows this. And if he wants to lie about it, he can. He spoke to me, and I told him that he needs to chill out with his mouth. If you're trying to prescribe to everybody's, hearts that you've changed, and you're out here doing the same garbage that you were for them to point the finger at you in the first place, then you're not proving to them that you've changed crap. And you know what? It's the same stuff, because they're the ones that cater to him. They're the ones that won't give him the tough questions. They're the ones that give him the pass, that give him the benefit of the doubt. They're the ones that don't believe, that do believe, they know. If you think Voices does not know, that behind the wall chick, if you don't think she knows, I know for a fact she believes Don Wells is guilty. I absolutely know for a fact 100%, because at that time I was talking to that whack job. And I know exactly what she was thinking. So she might want to say that she's buddy with him now. It's a con, it's a scam. I know it well. She didn't believe it then. She doesn't believe it now. I don't care what kind of crap she's blowing up the skirt of her audience. I really don't. But why would her audience constantly stay with her to be lied to constantly? Oh, I knew it was this. This is what they all say, right? Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then you find out, oh, look at Betty. I can't believe she made that bold statement. Bold statement. Actually taking a position on a matter. Yeah, that's what I do. And then we're right. And then they're wrong. And they're like, well, I kind of knew, but, for the interest of justice and everything like that, we just needed to do what we, give me a flipping break. Give me a flipping break. Give me a flipping break. A 2-year-old can do better than you. A 2-year-old. A 2-year-old. We look into things and we take positions and we provide opinions. And guess what? Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But I can tell you we have a great batting average, and we've taken some pretty darn bold positions in some of these cases. And guess what? Because of the work we did, the thorough work we did, we were on the right side of it. We were able to take those bold positions because we actually looked into it. We didn't go on Google and say, oh, let me see what search we have today. We didn't do that with Bryan Kohberger either. We didn't do that with the Idaho 4. We didn't do that with Summer Wells. Let me see what's on the news today. Let me see what I can regurgitate, right? That's not what we did when we get into cases. Right now, we're covering cases from the office. But when we're out in the field, we work. And that's what people hate, is that we work. Good morning, Sean. Nice to see you. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. My mom texted me up here. Sean is not my mother. She lives across the street, but I'm on my Mac, so my texts come through, and one of the texts was telling me my sister's coming home. So it just caught me off guard. Hi, my love, Betty Chat Mods, y'all. Sean, it's nice to see you. God bless you, love. God bless you. Lulu's Nana. Good night. Oh, kisses, love. Kisses. You have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Don't forget to give all those babies kisses. Good night, kisses. Good morning, Faithlin. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. That's what I said too. It's just crazy. All of a sudden now he has an alibi. I just watched her video. It floored me. So crazy. By the way, I love watching. Oh, thank you for reading my comments. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. God bless you. Yeah, it's just, because they've received stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a lot of people. A lot of people say, how do you know this or how do you know that? It's because it's not just about what we're looking at. I always look at the behaviors of other people. I always look at the behaviors of, say, the attorneys, or the behaviors of law enforcement, or the behaviors of a judge. It's never just about the case or the certain fact. I look at the behaviors, which guides a lot of stuff. For example, like with Carly Russell, One, I knew she was going to be in a lot of hot water for this, right? I knew that. Why? Because they were looking into her background, where she was for the 48 hours, not somebody else, where she was. And so I'm like, this is not the behavior of law enforcement that's looking for somebody that abducted her. This is behavior of a law enforcement that believes that she committed a crime, and they're looking into her. That is much of what I said with Maddie Kingsbury when we found out that Adam Fravel was in the blue minivan. I knew that he was a prime suspect in her disappearance almost immediately. As soon as law enforcement started directing people to start looking where her van was, which we knew at the time had Adam Fravel in it, the investigation is obviously square on him and nobody else at that time. Doesn't mean they didn't clear other people. It just means for him. That's the behavior of law enforcement indicating, giving you that indication that he's the prime suspect. Did they have to say he's the prime suspect for me to know that? Even if it wasn't him, if it wasn't the boyfriend, if it wasn't statistically possible for him to be it, if it was somebody else, it would still be the behavior of the law enforcement that kind of guides me of where to look. Even with this house being searched. Do we know it's related to Layla? No, I can't say that was with 100% certainty, but it comes within 3 days after her, after her case was elevated, TBI got involved and the endangered person alert went out. So could it be? Absolutely. Do I need to have law enforcement telling me that? Not really. Oh, your birthday, your BHB birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to... Okay, I'm going to put serenading. I could sing it better if I wanted to. Maybe we can go with man voice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Susanna. Happy BHB birthday to you. Have Dolly send that over to his ex. Toot, toot. Oh, that's right. Real me too. I'm glad I saw you in the chat. So I missed one of your questions, but lucky because we have awesome mods on the Bullhorn Betty channel, by the way. Awesome mods. If you guys see one of those beautiful ladies in the chat with that beautiful blue shiny wrench, tell them thank you so very much, because you guys know it cannot possibly be easy to mod for Bullhorn Betty. Not that Bullhorn Betty's a horrible person to mod for. It's because their job is extremely difficult because of who Bullhorn Betty is. So we always want to tell them thank you. So don't forget to tell your favorite Bullhorn Betty moderator thank you. And all the moderators better be your favorite, by the way, or I'm kicking you out and blocking you. I'm just joking. We know how triggering that is for some. I need to stop. Good morning. Oh, I see I am Team Summer here. I am Team Summer. Vanessa, good morning. Oh, boy. Let's see if we have any questions in the Q&A. Do we have any questions? Go to channel. Do I need to go to channel? Let's see. I don't know if this is going to do. Let's find out what this is going to do. I don't know if anybody's... I don't know how to use the questions. Maybe there was a bad idea. Oh, Lordy, I feel 40. Oh, I'm over 40. Sorry. Okay, I think that's it. But the real Me Too asked, Betty, do you think he told his lawyer the truth? And do you think he's calling the shots with his team? I'm assuming, I don't know where this came from, because again, I got great moderators and they clipped this and sent it to me, so I didn't miss your message. But I'm assuming you're speaking about Bryan Kohberger. The real Me Too. I'm hoping that you're speaking about Bryan Kohberger. I want to answer it as if you're asking about Bryan Kohberger. Do you think he, being Bryan Kohberger, told his attorneys, Nancy Taylor, the truth? And do you think he's calling the shots for the team, Nancy Taylor? That's what I'm thinking that you're really saying. So I'm going to answer that question. No, I do not think Bryan Kohberger told his attorneys the truth. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Their whole trial strategy and trial preparation would be much different if he told them the truth. So no, I don't think that he has told his lawyers the truth. I think that even his lawyers may have told him, shut the F up, don't talk to anybody. And I don't want to know what happened. Let me get the evidence in and I'll ask you the questions that I need. Some attorneys, take the case and look at it as if their client is innocent and they're going to try to prove their client guilty, to find strategies that the prosecution might do. And some do just the opposite. They believe their client is, guilty, and they try to prove their client innocent. Now, this is all behind scenes. It's just a strategy in formulating what the attorney is going to do, because you've got to be able to argue both sides. Because if you don't know what the state is going to present or how the state functions, then you can't very well prepare your defense. In lacking that information, you need to kind of know how the state is working, how they've worked in the past, so you can figure out how your strategy is going to be related to them. But if he had told his attorney that no, he wasn't there, he was at XYZ, that would be what they brought up. The reason why I don't believe she's asked him these questions is because the way her pleadings are, the vagueness in her pleadings, she's only conceding to the stuff that she's getting that's irrefutable from the state. And it sounds to me like she would only be asking Bryan Kohberger, questions that are unclear. So they're looking at all the evidence. They're not talking to their client and telling them, hey, tell me what happened. That's not really what they are doing, because they can't. This is a criminal investigation. If he says one thing wrong to them, that could spoil their entire trial strategy, because you have to remember, Naomi Kohberger, no matter how you look at this, is an officer of the court. So she has ethical duties and obligations. And believe me, she is not going to risk her license for the likes of Bryan Kohberger. She is going to follow the law. She is going to represent them within the confines of that law. And quite frankly, if she knew or he confessed that he did this, the whole entire trial strategy, preparation, and everything would look totally different than what it's looking right now. So my answer is no. He hasn't told his attorneys what truly transpired. Do I think he's calling the shots with his team? I think he's making strong suggestions in this. I think Naomi Kohberger is used to dealing with people like them. She's been in this position for a really long time. She's dealt with all walks of life. She will probably know how to handle his type of personality and behaviors just from her past experience. But yes, I do think he is bringing in suggestions. I think he is a person that is going to be using every bit of his smarts, his experiences, his book smarts to aid and help in this. And again, I think in a part of me, the whole stand in silent may have been suggested by Bryan Kohberger himself, because he had intimate knowledge about BTK's case and his behaviors, and he studied him at length. And I also believe it was BTK that stood in silent. While it's not common, it does happen. And it was just odd because we don't see it very often. And for him to have studied under Catherine Ramslin or whatever her name is, and also study BTK and then also stand in silent, it may have been something that was suggested for Naomi Taylor to look into on behalf of Bryan. He may have asked her about it. And that's kind of how it is. He may approach her and say, hey, maybe can we do it this way? I was looking at this. And she may be saying, well, we could do it that way, but you're really going to hinder yourself. This is the disadvantages of this. It does have some advantages, but the disadvantages are more and have greater weight than the advantages. And that's why I did not choose to take this approach to that. You know, those are the kind of conversations they would have. But yes, I do absolutely believe he's aiding the team in his defense, and you know, they are honoring him. But I also think he's smart enough to know that this is a seasoned defense attorney, and I also believe that he at this moment is also taking suggestions and cues from her as well. I believe at this point, the way his behavior is and her behavior is toward him, I think they have a trust of one another. I think he has handed over trust to her, you know, and that's just from his behaviors. Again, I don't know that for a fact. It just appears that way to me. It appears that way to me. So no, answer both questions. No, I don't think he's told. Yes, I think he's helping. So, but I just saw that and I wanted to answer you. So enough with Kohberger, and we'll come back to it if you guys have any other questions. I thought I heard Ann Taylor use that standing silence a lot. Interesting. I had not heard that. But I worry about it because this is the problem, Crafty Chris, is people just literally, if they think it comes out their mouth and they say it as true. I've seen it so many times. I see it daily. I literally see it daily. There are people that truly think if they think it, it's happened. They have no information on it. And this right here could have been one of those things where somebody was just saying, oh, well, she uses it all the time. Just settle a dispute with some other person that they were arguing with because the person made them feel stupid. And they're like, oh, well, she does this all the time. We don't know the context in which it was. I can tell you, honestly, I haven't really looked into it, but standing in silent is not really that common. It's not a common practice amongst, so I would like to see receipts on Nancy Taylor using that a lot. I don't know if she does, but you know, it might be a strategy that works for her. She may say that it maybe she believes that it's an underutilized strategy, underutilized advantage. You know, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I personally haven't seen it a lot. And the outside of you, with all the in-depth coverage of this, I really haven't. This is the first time I've heard she uses it a lot. So it's possible. Maybe, you know, I really haven't looked into her past history and how she's handled other cases. So to be honest with you, she may very well use it a lot. I have no personal knowledge one way or the other. I got nothing to say to them until they start taking the truth. Yeah. Thank you, Betty. I agree. I'm sure she knows by the evidence. Oh, we're not even seeing the evidence, and we can reasonably conclude that it's pretty damaging. So much so that she had to concede that he was in the car driving around that night. That's guys. That is huge. That is huge to concede in this case. I think people are downplaying the significance of this concession. I really do. I think people are downplaying the true significance of this concession. They put him in the car. They put him driving around, allegedly alone, for hours that night, with his phone turned off. I mean, there had to have been some overwhelming evidence for them to put him in that car. Because that would be something, think about it, that would be something the defense team would try to keep away. If there's any way to connect him to that car outside doing all those weird 3-point turns and weird behaviors driving, that the defense attorney does not want to concede to that. They don't want to concede to that. They just put him in a car driving around during the murders. I think people are downplaying that a lot. That's significant. That is a major concession. That is not what the defense team would want to concede. I'm sorry, it just isn't. If he had admitted that he did this crime, the attorney would be trying to save his life instead of defending him. Exactly. They would have to go with something completely different. That they would be setting this case up in a completely different the trial strategy for somebody that's guilty versus somebody that is pleading not guilty are two totally different trial strategies. You're not going to be arguing on things like indictments and stuff like that for somebody that that says they did it. It just doesn't make sense. L8, it's nice to see you. Good morning, bud. I just wanted to say, love your attitude, very passionate and joyful. Oh, thank you. God bless you. Appreciate it. So getting over to Rex Heuermann, I'm going to kind of briefly gloss over this. We're kind of getting to the top. We're in the last 30-minute stretch, and I'm down to two final things that I really wanted to discuss with my audience here. And this is related to Rex Heuermann. And I have to agree with this statement. So there's this catch list on Twitter, and I love it because it's really designed. It's all about Rex Heuermann. It's all about the Long Island serial killer. I like it. You know, people are always in there, providing information. It's just a great resource. I mean, you have to. Obviously, not everything, just like everything else, you've got to do your own research. Make sure that what you're seeing is factual. Make sure you figure out whether it's a rumor, whether it's speculative, whether it's an opinion, what those speculation opinions, whatever those based on, and see if you come up with the same answer, whatever it may be. But this really kind of made me think, and rightfully so. And it comes back to Shannon Gilbert. And it said basically, where would we be? What does it say? Betty, the person that lives at the house that was searched, Kingsport, is Facebook friends with Layla. Thank you, Mary. Wow. That's not good. That's not good. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that update. I do appreciate it. Still getting sleep out of my eyes. Good morning, everyone. Aw, Wim Designs. Well, good morning, love. Get some coffee. Get some coffee and hang out with the coffee club. How about that? Sounds good to me. So where would we be without Shannon Gilbert? If you guys remember the crazy 911 call, the lady that thought people were going to kill her. She was running. They couldn't find her. And then they were starting to search. They took a training dog out to do some training on that stretch to hopefully help find Shannon. And then boom, they found the first body. And then boom, they found the second body. And then boom, they found the third and the fourth. And then the body count started piling up. And it all comes back to this very question. Where would we be without Shannon? Would we even know? Would families still be wondering what happened to their missing loved ones? Shannon could have been a famous New York City model or Hollywood actress by now. Shannon is the catalyst that not only led to the finding of all the others, she is ultimately the reason this will come to an end and justice will be served. Shannon's life was not taken in vain. And we will never give up the fight to bring justice to her and her beloved family. I get goosebumps every time I read that. But what a true and powerful statement that is. Again, these people would have went long times, maybe even more evidence washing away or withering away in the elements. Because of her, all these people were found. Because of her, we now realize who Rex Heuermann is. It all started with her. Her family had to give the hugest of sacrifices, but I guarantee she did not die in vain, because now, as we sit, Rex Heuermann will never be able to hurt another woman again. He will never be able to torture them. He will never be able to take them away from their family. He will never be able to be conniving, cunning. He is exposed. And I really do hope if we find out his home was the site where these atrocities happened. I hope his wife, if she gets the house, tears it down and builds her a new place, a fresh start. I really do. I feel so bad for his wife, his stepson, and his daughter. I feel horrible for them. I keep thinking, you know, if I woke up today and found out that one of my loved ones was a serial killer and every spotlight is on me, how would I feel? It would be hard. It would be hard. And I want to do a big shout out. I'm not going to go through this right now. I want you guys to go where it was created, and then we'll discuss it tomorrow on our live. This is from Sleuthy Goosey. Sleuthy Goosey, I don't know her personally. She seems really thorough with these cases. She has a lot of passion. She obviously has a knack for organization and putting stuff together. And she's put this timeline together. She's really done, you can really see the quality of her work. And I really hope, as people grow on Twitter, as they start converting over to YouTube, as people start paying attention, so do the hate channels, so do the haters, and people will start, tearing her apart. She obviously has a knack and has the heart in the right place for this type of work, because when I see her work in these spreadsheets, it's a labor of love. It truly is a labor of love. You can see that come through the work that she does in trying to help these cases. And I really like this, but she really went all in trying to give a good, concise, and consistent timeline, bringing in multiple sources to cross-reference them. And I'm going to be going over this tomorrow on our live, just kind of giving a rundown of what was collected here. But I thought, as, if you want to go over and check this out, she's on Twitter. Her name's Sleuthy Goosey. And you are more than welcome to go, and she's published this for her audience. Don't forget to subscribe to her. And tell her thank you for the work that she's doing, that this is, obviously it's a lot of hard and long work, and people that do this quality of work that aren't getting paid for it are doing it from a place of love. Believe that. And she's doing a great job. And she also, I believe, has recently opened up a channel here on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, just wanted to give her a shout out, because I'm always so impressed with the quality of work that she does. So we're going to be going over this tomorrow and breaking down Rex Heuermann. We're going to be really breaking down Rex Heuermann and going through his life and seeing what's what. So guys, go get updated on this spreadsheet. So if I miss anything or make a mistake, you guys can correct me, so everybody out there on the streets of YouTube have the most up-to-date information on Rex Heuermann. Guys, I want you to have an amazing, amazing Manic Monday, this beautiful, wonderful morning. I want you to rock out your week, have an amazing week, love your family, be kind to one another, and be kind in the chat box. I know sometimes it's hard. We have people that like to come here and trigger, the audience and stuff, but we are going to we're going to rise above, and we're going to treat them with love and kindness. If something bothers us, we're going to ignore them or remove them. So that's how it's going to work moving forward. So I hope you guys all have a great day, and God bless you. Don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them. Peace.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.